Hi everyone, Az here from HeelvsBabyface. I don't know how long this video is going to go on. I might go off on a few tangents, so if it is long, I apologise. If it's like decent length, no problem. So, a few days ago, it came out that CNET were going to release an article about gaming YouTube channels. And this information actually came from other employees within CNET. And they told, I think it was TheQuartering, that it was essentially going to be a hit piece. Which kind of shows maybe exactly what the other employees thought about this article anyway. So it came out today, and I've read through it. And is it an eye-opening piece of journalism? Is it a revealing piece of journalism that actually exposes and shines a light on gaming channels who are manipulating the system, who are actually having some influence in creating rumor or speculation within the gaming world that is causing people to create videos and therefore driving traffic to their sites, and they're profiteering off it? No, nothing of the sort. This article, when I read through it, comes across as sad and desperate. It comes across as if it's written by somebody who is jealous, who is envious, who is eaten up by the fact that independent YouTube channels are doing well and successful, and he's toiling away at a company like CNET. And CNET, Kotaku, Polygon, all these media companies, they're all dying. They are all dying off. And there's numerous reasons why. Number one, people are using ad block and stopping adverts from showing on their pieces. Therefore, they're not getting paid. Number two, for every decent journalist that you have, and I'm not a fan of Jason Schreier as a person, but I think he's a very good journalist. But he's surrounded at Kotaku by a bunch of activists. So instead of actually creating good journalistic pieces that people would, be interested in writing, they're creating these this activist trash more often than not. That is not what normies are interested in reading. People don't care where characters in Destiny stick their genitalia. They're interested in what are the most powerful guns and how much damage do they do. But this is the sort of article that you get from this type of company, yeah. And they also self-serve the gaming industry because they have to be nice, they have to play ball, and if they do, they get interviews, they get invited to events, launches, they get their review copies in advance, all this kind of things which they deem as perks. But the irony is they can only really be, for the most part, positive. Whereas independent YouTube media can do what we do, which is give our truth. Give our truth. That is really what you can ask for. And that's why I also think a lot more people are gravitating towards coming to YouTube and coming to gaming sites for their news, because they believe they're going to get a more honest opinion from those people. They're not going to have a corporate opinion. They're not going to have a fluff piece. For the most part, sure, there are some fluff YouTube channels, but you can figure them out pretty easily. No, they think they're going to listen to somebody who they believe is going to be upfront and straight with them. And that's all they want. Whether or not that person says, don't buy this game, or buy this game. Whether or not that person says, this company's being a shit, but they're trying to turn themselves around, or this company was great, but now they're being shits. They believe that they're going to go to somebody who at least will be honest and open with them. And I see this article as serving no other purpose than an attempt to demonetize independent content creators in an effort to try and drive advertisers back to these sort of failing sites. And it's really bitter. It comes across as really, really bitter. he goes through various... Well, first of all, let me just say one thing. When I read the first paragraph, I actually thought it was quite amusing. Legitimately, I actually thought this first paragraph was quite amusing. Cynical, but cynical in a funny way. How to make a successful video on one of the internet's most popular sites. Step 1, find something to be angry about. Go to online forums, track what's hot on TwitTwat, and figure out the outrage of the day. Step 2, rant into a camera for 10 minutes. Just over 10 minutes. You got to play the algorithm. Hey, don't be hating, dude. It's just business. Just playing the algorithm. That's just the business game. Step 3, profit. So I actually thought that was quite amusing, quite funny, to be quite honest with you. Although you don't really have to do any of this for the first part. It's all just out there in the open. It's all just out there in the open. Gaming YouTube channels, we don't, dig underground to try and find these pieces of information. The vast majority are just there. A lot of the time, people within the companies come to us and say, hey, look, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. This is the 411, yo. 1990s taught me that. We're just reporting what's out there. And I believe if these people are reporting on it in a fair manner, in a decently fair manner, they're entitled to their own opinions. Of course they are. Then I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If it's being done with the right attitude, with the right, faith, I believe that's fine. Absolutely fine. That's the way I personally deal with my channel. I'll go both barrels if I think a company deserves both barrels. And I think a lot of companies have deserved both barrels recently. With your EAs and your Bethesdas and your Activisions and all this stuff, your BioWares with Anthem. These companies have deserved the criticism that they've got. They've deserved this because they have purposely either misled, missold, the gamers. They have asked for full price on products which aren't even close to ready, that only serve to sell digital crap, whereas the game itself, I don't even have to go further into that. These companies did it to themselves. We're reporting on it. And spreading this type of information, I believe, is very important indeed. Very important. Because people have to know exactly what's going on so they can make an informed decision whether or not they choose to purchase the product or not. Because I think some of the time, sure. But I don't think for the most part, you can convince somebody to do something they don't want to do by nature. And if somebody comes to a channel and they're just like, exactly what is Anthem like? And they hear a take, let's say, by myself, and then they hear a take by another channel, and then another channel, and then another channel, and they hear things which are getting mirrored by these channels as to what's wrong. That person is going to be there able to make an informed decision. But if that person comes to this channel like, I'm going to buy Anthem. I'm going to buy it. I'm just going to buy it. I want to hear what this person says. And I say, don't buy it. I think it's terrible. It's got this, this, and this. I don't think I'm going to be able to go against that person's own nature. For the most part. Maybe for the odd few. But for the most part, if you have already made your mind up, you're going to do it anyway. You're going to do it anyway. But a lot of people are getting more and more cautious when it comes to their purchases. Because unfortunately, in the gaming world right now, we're getting burnt constantly. Absolutely constantly. And so instead of rushing out to pre-order, people are easing back on pre-orders. Instead of day one purchases, people are actually now starting to get a little bit more wary. A little bit, not huge, but a little bit more wary about day one purchase as well. I think I'll ease back. Where you have a gaming industry that is purposely lying to you, like EA, single player is dead, single player is dying, people don't want single player anymore, they want live service. That was just a lie. That was just a lie. People love single player. Why did EA lie? Because it's very difficult to monetize single player without it looking so egregious. I mean, Ubisoft don't seem to have a problem with that aspect, but that's a problem that I have with Ubisoft about that. Whereas when it came to the Game Awards, for instance, what wins Game of the Year? God of War. What came second? Pretty much, let's just be honest, Red Dead Redemption 2. What have they both got in common? Single player games. Because it came out before Red Dead Online. So exposing the gaming industry lies, bringing out takes about these sort of aspects are very important indeed, because it allows people to be able to make more informed decisions. So this article can do nothing to counter that. There's nothing in this article whatsoever that tries to. And in actual fact, it comes across as really ill-informed, because he talks about SJW, social justice warriors, as a slur. This person doesn't even know that social justice warriors is what they called themselves. They were so lampooned that they actually that people turned their own battle cry against them. He mentions Anita Sarkeesian. Anita Sarkeesian knows nothing about gaming. Whether or not she's done some trash videos about it is irrelevant. She knows nothing about the industry whatsoever. It became quite obvious when you saw the stuff. She was just there to milk some money by people weaponizing feminism. That was all she did. She weaponized it. She profiteered from it. She knew nothing about gaming whatsoever. And then we get to the true crux of the article, why he did the article. This guy wanted to demonetize TheQuartering. That's what he wanted to do. Now, this is where I'm going to be absolutely 100% honest, because I think it's only fair that I do. I've seen some of the TheQuartering stuff, right? And I do think he's very antagonistic. I do think he plays the game. And I do think he rides topics until they're dead in the ground. I think he's done something ridiculous like 20 to 25 videos about Brie Larson and Captain Marvel. I think that's a little excessive, but it's getting him views. He knows it's getting him views, so he's making videos about it, and people are going to watch them. And his channel is growing and growing. He's got over 500,000 subscribers. So yeah, I think he's being a little excessive in the amount of stuff that he's doing about a singular topic. But guess what? Do I think he should be demonetized because of that? No. No, this is just a take I have. It's just a take. Do I think he likes to play the political game? Do I think that he likes to pull on the pigtails and the hair of journalists? Yeah. But a lot of the time, at the same time, they are doing exactly the same back, but they are trying to shield themselves with virtue. Oh, we're doing this because of this, and it's just all horseshit. So yeah, maybe he's playing the game back, but does he deserve to be demonetized because of this? No, absolutely not. Does he deserve to have adverts taken off his channel because of it? No, absolutely not. If he is conforming within YouTube's terms of services, if he is not violating those terms of services, then he is absolutely fully within his rights to act the way that he is acting, to make the videos he's making in the manner in which he is making them. Because if he's in within the terms of services, he's in with the advertising as well. If YouTube think he's out of order, this is when videos get demonetized. And then he has the opportunity to have a manual review. And if the manual reviewer says, no, we think this video is not suitable for advertisers, then that's the policy of YouTube. But this person who wrote the article actually contacted advertisers on his channel directly. And the problem with this is, number one, he has no right to do that. He has no right to do that whatsoever. And number two, we don't know exactly what he's saying to them. I'm sure he's not phoning up and saying, hello, advertiser. Do you know that your adverts are appearing on the Quartering's YouTube channel? I don't think he's saying that. I think he's phoning them up and saying probably something along the lines of, oh, do you know that your videos, your adverts, sorry, are appearing on a video of a controversial, you know, and using some derogatory terms maybe to try and paint a picture of this channel, whether you agree with what the channel says or not. He is within terms of service of YouTube and should exist within those terms of services in an advertising capacity as well. So that comes across as really bitter. That comes across as somebody who is looking to go around and demonetize gaming YouTube channels. And I don't know if there is some sort of legal aspect to this. We've got an incident going on in the comics world at the minute with Richard C. Mayer and Mark Waid, where some guy who set up a YouTube channel criticizing comics, or well, not criticizing, just telling people what he thought about some comics. Some he liked, some he thought were trash. And yet the comic industry blew a gasket. They couldn't believe this. How dare he say these things? And so they actually turned around and said, well, if you think you can do better, make a comic yourself. So he did. And then, allegedly, Mark Waid talked the publisher out of publishing that guy's comic, which caused him significant problems, and he had to, and eventually he did in the end, but he's suing Mark Waid for tortious interference. He got in the way of that guy being able to produce a comic and put it out there. So this is, I don't know if this is, you know, anything along those lines, but when somebody from a you know, what is essentially a rival publication, a rival media, is calling up advertisers on somebody's video saying, oh, whatever he's saying, because we don't know what he's saying. I'd be very interested to know if those conversations were recorded. You know, we record these conversations for legal purposes, and whether or not they could be subpoenaed to hear exactly what he said. And if that's the case, then could he be, you know, subject to slander or libel? Slander, I think it is. Slander's mouth, libel's written, isn't it? Whether or not he could be, you know, potentially up there for slander is another matter altogether. But this is disgusting by this person. And maybe that's why his own colleagues leaked the fact that this hit piece was going to come out. It's sad. Like I said, it's sad and it's desperate. And it's caused a YouTuber some advertisers to pull from his channel. And we don't know what he said about that. We do know that he's got an agenda when it comes to this person. We do know that he's got very political takes. He keeps comparing gaming YouTube channels to bloody Trump. Orange Man bad. Yeah, so I will link the article in the description box down below so you can read it and you can make your own determination yourselves. I do firmly stress, do not contact the author of this article. It is something that they would love so they could play the victim. But don't attack them. It's their opinion. I think it's a terrible opinion. I think it's a really bad take. But don't attack them or anything like that whatsoever. Show that you're the better person. If you want to do something positive for the YouTube channel that you support, watch a video. Watch a video of theirs. Watch a video, watch another video. Watch something you maybe haven't seen before. Watch a video that you liked before. Support them in that way. But going after other people, nah. I'll leave myself to punching up against corporations instead of punching down against people. But there you go. So I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links are in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.